Go ahead.
Those that they should be close with, right? They're not. It's supposed to be this brotherhood, right? So my mom passed a few months ago, but my mom couldn't live with either one of my sisters. She barely got along with my brother that was taking care of her. They don't really talk to each other. The children that are outside of the organization spend way more time together in communication than the people that are supposedly within the organization, and they should be closer, but they're not. It's a falsehood. So where you thought that your kids would be closer with your parents and stuff like that doesn't really happen, because it's not the unity that people claim it to be. It's as long as you follow my rules, you'll be okay. But everybody has their own sets of rules. It's not really the brotherhood. It's not really the closeness. It's not really the taking care of. You know, why would
It's
you? Yeah,
it's
it's crazy.
crazy
Mhm. They're
because
not together.
yes, that's the thing. I thought that they would be together.
Mm-mm. Mm. Nope, doesn't work that way. There's no real unity, and they know that. That's why they prey upon people's inheritances. Um, they separate the children from the parents in order to get the inheritance from the people.
Wow, yes. And
Right?
that's what a lot of mega churches do. That's
Hmm.
what
They all
all
do.
these other churches, because a lot of churches like what's his name? Bill Epstein, or what's his name? Neil Epstein, mega church guy. Um Epstein. No, not Epstein. Okay. I can't get his name right now, so I'll leave it alone until I find it. But mega church pastors. Um Joel Osteen.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Joel Osteen. So, and I'm sorry, everybody, fam. I'm in my car right now because there's a lot of people that are at the house right now. So I have to make do with what I got, and I'm in the car right now. I don't know if you can hear a little bit of sound, but there's music
No,
going
it's pretty good. The
on.
one good thing about, I don't know, my microphone is that it cancels out a lot of background noise.
Right.
So,
Yes. Yeah, good. But yeah, Joel Osteen. All these mega churches. I
mhm.
did some research, and actually I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Edit this. I gotta find that picture that I had, but it shows how much money these churches actually possess. But you're broke.
Yep. Mhm. So you get broke people, right, that go to church, that give their money to the church, and then pray to God for money. Hmm. Seems backwards, to
Right,
say the least. You know, keep your money in your pocket, because that wasn't what it was ever about. If you
right,
were to donate to the temple, it was up to them to distribute the money to the widowers and the orphans, make sure that they were taken care of. And it doesn't happen. This is not what any organ. So people, oh, it's an organization. You got to be a part of the organization. No, doesn't take that. So often I ask people, I say this: if it's about an organization, right? So you mean to tell me that nobody can reach salvation except for through this organization? Then you are compartmentalized. You're making God so small that he can only get through this group of people, and you're making him so small. And that's not what it is. He's much bigger than any organization. Even though he can dwell within you, there's no organization that can contain him, because that's not what it's about. He's always had the covenant with the bloodline.
right.
You can slice it however you want to. So we were talking earlier about, there's no Greek, no Jew, no Gentile in Christ. It's the interpretation of it is misguided.
It is.
Because you take all the other precepts around it, and that's not what it meant.
And a lot of people don't know the definition of Gentile, because the actual definition is usually non-Jew. Usually non-Jew.
Right.
So then you got the circumcision, then being uncircumcised. So how can you physically uncircumcise yourself?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what it, so Gentiles, literally genitalia.
Right.
Uncircumcised genitalia is really what it is, and who don't circumcise themselves. Right. In general, Europeans do not circumcise themselves.
That's right.
Most of them are uncircumcised. All your Eastern Europeans and stuff like that, most of them are uncircumcised. This was a command given only to the Hebrews. It's not a requirement for them to do it, but it was a requirement for the Hebrews to do it. The commands that he gave the Hebrews, he didn't give to the world, right?
Right.
If the rest of the world is heathens, then why would he tell you, don't do the way of the heathens? Why? Because they were uncircumcised. They didn't have the requirement. So all these commandments went to other people. Didn't go to other people. They were specifically for the Hebrews. So the blessings and curses of Deuteronomy only deal with the Hebrews. It doesn't say Gentiles too. Doesn't say also ye Gentiles. Doesn't say that. Didn't apply to you. So when you talk about other sheep in Revelation, people think, oh, well, it's just non-Jehovah's Witnesses. Well, if the beginning talked about a bloodline and the end talked about a bloodline, then Jehovah's Witnesses aren't a bloodline. It's a religion. Judaism is not a bloodline. It's a religion. Catholicism is not a bloodline. It's a religion.
Right.
Right? Baptist is not a bloodline. It's a religion.
That's right.
That's the difference. That's what it.
Even going back to the actual word, and again, I just want to take a quick pause. If you are a Jehovah's Witness, or if you're leaving a religion, just know that what we're trying to show you is the Bible and how it ties in with our lives right now. It's not a religion, and how Barrak is saying. So I wanted to tie that in. I wanted to put that in there. It's not a religion. This has to do with everything is full circle. So it's the geography, it's the history, it's everything, the bloodline, as he speaks of. Who is who. And I just want y'all to know that the reason why you're here is because you need to hear this. And usually, like, if you make the truth your own, then usually you find what you're looking for, what you find what you're seeking. So that's merely what Barrak is trying to do right now. It's just trying to show you things that were hidden from you. So any religion that you're in, the way you grew up or whatever, he's tying in like Pee-wee's Playhouse, connecting the dots.
Connect the dots, la 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 la. Connect the dots, la 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 la.
I don't know if I necessarily use Pee-wee Herman.
Yo, I actually went on stream this morning, this Saturday. I went on stream and Pee-wee's Playhouse popped up.
Oh, really? up, boys and
Yeah.
girls.
I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I?
Right. So if we get back to the players, if you don't know who the Hebrews are, if you don't know who the Gentiles are, if you don't know who the so-called Jews are, and you don't know who the Hamites are, and you don't know who the Edomites are, until you can get that straight as to who's who, the Bible will remain to be confusing. Until you can get all that lined up, who's Edom, Japheth, Jacob, Israel,
Shem,
if you don't know who
Ham,
those are, right,
Moab.
right.
See, a
And
lot
these
of
12
people.
tribes of Israel, if they weren't important, they wouldn't be mentioned in Revelation.
Can I drop
If there
a
was no
bomb on
significance.
everybody? Can I drop a bomb on everybody, or
Yeah,
should
go
I
ahead.
wait? Moab.
No, go ahead.
So, my whole life, Barrak, growing up, I always wondered, where did the Asians come from? Because their features were so different.
Right.
So I'm just gonna drop a bomb on everybody. If you look into Lot and the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, and you look into where, if you remember, we all know this story. If you remember, Lot's wife, she turned around, turned into a pillar of salt. Then him and his daughters. Lot was supposed to actually go into a city, and he was so fearful, he thought the whole world was destroyed, and instead he went into the mountains. And when he went into the mountains, he went to the mountains with his two daughters. Now, for the sensitive, if you have kids listening, his two daughters thought that there was no more men on the earth, that was it. So they wanted to have a baby. So they got their father drunk, and then they had relations with their father while he was drunk. Well, a lot of times in incest, you get different changes in the body. So if you look into it, actually, you know what? I'm just going to leave this as a cliffhanger. Look into the story and look at the names. I'm going to give you guys homework. Look into the names of Lot's grandchildren, the two sons that came from the daughters that had incest. Look at the names, and then there's a chart that when Barrak was talking earlier, I'm going to have up on the screen when I do the editing. And then look at Moab, and then look at the story. And then there's some clues there about these different nations that pop up out of the Gentile nations. So I just wanted to put that out there. That's all.
See, well, that right there is news for me. I didn't know that one.
Yes. That's why they got their features. So if you look at, and I'm not going to say it right now in this video, but if you look at certain formities or deformities of certain facial features, then you Google, what you do is you Google the babies of the deformity and of the nations, and you got twins. And that's where it comes from. And the mountains that they fled into are the Asian mountains.
Right.
And that's where you get those races.
Oh, wow.
So we'll do a whole thing on it. I'm just like, I'm just dropping a little bombs right now. Just a little.
Okay. I like it. Oh, I like it. Because truth is truth.
Yes.
You know?
Moab.
And where there's no law, there's no transgression. And this is what people need to understand. Well, how did that happen? I was like, if there was no law, then there was no transgression. If there was no
Right.
law at the time, then there was no transgression. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to get to it. Let's see. The incest. KJV. I want to go right to the scripture. So yeah, Genesis, I did have it marked. I was right here at it. But yeah, so Genesis 19 and let's see. Oh, I'm in Exodus. Oops, I'm in Exodus. Hold on. So Genesis 19. Here we go. There it is. And here we go. So remember, I'm going to put up the chart. So as I'm reading this, I'm going to put up the chart of the other Gentile nations. But check this out. And it came to pass on a world. Oh, actually, here we go. Beginnings of Moab and Ammon. Okay. Which Moab is one nation and Ammon is one other nation. You have two nations of this culture that is the primary nations. This nation and that nation. I'm not going to name it right now. But I got the chart up so you can see it because I'm going to put it in there. So in Genesis chapter 19, and we'll start at 30. And Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountains. Which mountains? Where? And his two daughters with him, for he feared to dwell in Zoar. And he dwelt in a cave, he and his two daughters. Well, guess what? They hit puberty. And the firstborn said unto the younger, our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him.
I'm gonna wear that black dress that you got me from home.
That we may preserve seed of our father. So, verse 32. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father. Incest. And he perceived not. So he was so drunk, he didn't know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
When she lay down, nor when she arose. They got him so drunk that he doesn't even remember stories that I've told you, Barrak, about my past getting drunk.
Right.
And it came to pass on the morrow that firstborn said unto the younger, behold, I lay yester night with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also. Let's do it again. And go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. Incest.
Mm-hmm.
Deformities come out of incest. Different things come out of incest. So they made them drink. Now let's skip 37, verse 37. And the firstborn, a son, look at the chart I got up on the screen right now, and called his name Moab. The Moabites. The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger, she also bare a son, and called his name Ben-Ami. The same is the father of the children of Ammon until this day. Look at the chart that we have on the screen right now. And there is the story of the Asians. And then all the other cultures were mixed cultures. So like Philippines, they were conquered by Spain. So they have more of a I dropped my headphones. So they have more of a that's why Philippines, like Mahal Kita,
Right. They have Spanish names.
It's close to Spain because
Right.
Spain conquered that country. So that's why their language is more closely tied to the Spanish culture than any
Right.
other Asian culture.
Right.
So yeah, this Bible, man, the history is there. Oh,
It is. It covers a lot.